Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Alice in Wonderland. Let's continue. So, we got the perspective change from the Mad Hatter ability, so we made a door appear and we can walk through this door. And by walking through this door, it shows us a odd section of gameplay there where the camera was locked and all I could do probably was walk forward and backward. Like, this feels like a load section. Like it's locking the camera in a very specific spot. And then when you jump out on the other end, some of that is not being controlled. Like, press forward, press forward, press forward, press forward, not pressing any buttons at that point. There's a couple of things we want to interact with. Here's that chest that I thought I messed up and couldn't get reach. There's another chest. Just way too many chests. Like, sometimes we get into this point where it feels like they agreed, the creators of the game agreed to have a certain number of elements in their game, and because they had that agreement, they will then rush to fill around a place with that many collectibles. And like, there's 3 chests here for no reason. Honestly, it's really just an incredibly horribly balanced amount of items you get in the chest. Let's say instead you only got 1/10 of what you get out of chests. Then I wouldn't have 15,000 extra elements, extra gold coins effectively. And here we've hit a point because I don't know where I last saved. All of these say find the Mad Hatter. I assume this was the last place I saved, but I could have just overwritten my most recent save. And I'm assuming what's going to happen here is we're going to need to do something like that. And then the jumps are just kind of automatically done for you. We could break a bunch of these. It's not really necessary. And here we've got a giant chest. It's not really a giant chest. I'm really disliking that they put the button, the character select, on this instead of giving me like a selection dial. I guess we're not ready to do a perspective change. Or if we are, perhaps it's over here that we're supposed to be. Guess I have to talk to Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Even though I don't really want to, they're gonna constantly show up. Obviously. Suppose I could try to ignore them.
Cat's been here. I can smell it.
So anytime I miss anything, I'm gonna end up cycling through everything multiple times. And here we're back to the low frame rate.
Deep into this tree. Contrary-wise, it's dumb what's gotten it stuck.
Why is it showing me the cursor and my menu during all that? In fact, why is it always bringing up that information at all. Like, it seems like at times. Alright, there we go. Just telekinesis him.
You could have helped us, couldn't you not? You couldn't have not, and you should have done so. That's for certain. I'll have a sore bonds for the rest of this day. You can take this with you when you go. It's not no good for the likes of us, is it, Dee? Come, Dum. We'll go play someplace else. This playing place has a very unpleasant and laborious air.
Low frame rate. Just lazy.
Oh, hello. Look at this posting spin round and round about. Shows the way to salads and grums, so it does.
But there is something else here. Now that they're away from the tree, clearly. Now we can do it. Let's see. We can line this up in some way to make a pawn piece. It's almost there. Almost there. And it's interesting, there's like a yellow marker that's moving up in the top right corner to tell me whether I've done it right or not. But the game is not being very generous with it. There we go. So maybe there were some other perspective shifts and some other things we can find. Seems like you're practically gonna have to run through the entire game a second time at this rate. And it would rather stink if there was some reason for that. Like, if it turns out you need 100,000 to unlock some door to get to the final boss, that would be pretty bad. Or if it just forces you for no real reason at all. The idea is I'd want the game to encourage you to play the game a second time, not force you. And I get the feeling this is going to be more force than encouragement. Let's see. We can go ahead and buy his attack speed ×2. And again, the pieces don't overlap. For 1,000, which might actually make Mullicum more useful as a character. I forgot to fix the fish head characters with fix them a different way. And seems like there's a perspective shift we're gonna do to bring back this house in a moment.
Such enormously long legs.
And that would have been an easy enough to miss enemy.
Here's the cabin. Hatter used to come here to paint. He's terribly artistic, you know.
And I guess the joke there is since they are using the wrong words in several instances, maybe they mean to say he's terribly autistic, which would also be arguable. Let's see.
I have to find a better spot.
So apparently I needed to break it, which that's not what we've been doing before. And the idea, I imagine, is to just line up the cutout with the burnt part. And they give us a very unnatural jigsaw piece like cutout so that we know what we're doing. You'd think his giant sword would be more helpful. But when he cuts grass, he kind of has to bend down to cut the grass, which actually makes his attack slower. And be careful, it's a one-way trip. And so we are here, and we started there, and I think we've collected everything that we really could get right now. We could certainly go back in this area later with the perspective change, but we can also come back in this area with the going invisible ability. And see, this guy's following us.
I wonder where those imbeciles are going.
And he has... We're back to the higher frame rate animations.
Go now after them! Cut them off at the vortex!
And if you lose them again, I'll feed you all to the Bandersnatch. Or the Queen, if you're really unlucky.
And then we get a load. This is really not a game that needs loading. And certainly it doesn't need loading on top of showing a cutscene. Because, this is a modern PC. This is running on installed to an SSD hard drive. And it's not like a ton of things.
It's gone. How will we get back to the woods?
Where are you, by the way?
Huh? Silly girl. We don't need that
She's
door
on
anymore.
his
The
hat.
vorpal sword is onwards, not backwards.
So where did she go then? So I guess the idea here is that she's either sitting on his head. Is she? I think she might be. Or she's just not there. We've got an achievement to break furniture, so while this will take a while, I guess we could do this. Just try to, as quickly as possible, with his double speed increase. How much of this is considered furniture? And we've got an Alice door that we can't use. We've got an invisible item over there that maybe we will just unlock the curiosity. Just look at what we're breaking. Yeah. That doesn't seem like it's gonna break any further. I just don't know how much of this is really gonna... Wow. Seems like walls are breakable. Like, how much of this is destructible? Quite a lot. It seems odd that people would put in this time to program this when you're missing the basics. Like, you just don't have enough levels and enough encounters and enough things to do in your game. And yet I can break the walls. And so maybe there's a reason you can break the walls here, and maybe this is the way we get out. Maybe this is how we're gonna do it. Interesting. So some of these have to be invisible. Wow. Well, I might explain why this area is so small, then come to think of it, because the idea here is that...
Okay, where's the cake?
And some of these white ones just don't seem like you can integrate with them. There you go, achievement unlocked, so we don't have to mess with knocking down any more, well, let's see, furniture, we still need 200 pieces of furniture, that's a lot, but as far as, and waiting birds, hey, we killed one of them, but we need to find one more. Paintings. And this time, for pulling down the paintings, we get an actual animated scene instead of just a still image that's spinning around. And kind of a spoilish image, really, because there's a character there we don't know. So when we can go invisible, we'll be able to exit that area. And here's a chess piece, and that was not visible from the map. And like, I guess I do have to go through here. We can't do anything yet. Or can we?
Oh! That made me jump. Let's try it again.
Interesting, it broke the furniture. with the double attack speed, we're now really doing some crazy moves. I'm also moving the left stick, which seems to be potentially changing things. Get this guy on the ground and keep him on there. Never died, but I didn't switch between different enemies.
It's gone. They've taken it away.
Just keep breaking things. And it's a painting of the hallway. Interesting. So then we need the perspective shift at this point to make it real. And I couldn't just go, right? I don't want to actually hit X and open the door.
Only you can open the storehouse, but you're too tiny. We need a way of enlarging you.
So we'll come back to that later, obviously. And if we take this picture and we try to line it up, that works. And because there's a light here that tells you when the change of perspective is the right move, you kind of know that there aren't going to be any extra secrets or collectibles to reusing that ability. At least not right now. Maybe later. That change of perspective took a big chunk of the wall out. We've got some paintings, and we might as well save. How much game time have we done, by the way? Well, apparently 3 hours and 30 minutes according to that. I'm surprised it's that long. I'm also surprised it's that short. I don't know what I was really expecting, honestly. And this seems to be taking me around. Into another area.
I'm smelling cake. Fresh and warm cakes. Warm and fresh.
I can smell cake. I'm ravenous. I should think I could eat a whole one all by myself.
Interesting.
Much too much cake. Not so good. Bad idea.
What's funny is the echo cut off there for a second. As soon as I walked out of that area. So it's trying to place some echo effects. But it's only in certain places. See, I don't know if there's much more that can be done. Seems like there's nothing in this door. And we're now just walking around what is a motion sickness inducing area, and we're on the roof. Let's see. It doesn't seem like there's anything you can really do. I'm surprised that worked.
I say, what a gigantic cake. Maybe I'm not quite that hungry.
It really does feel
That's
like
perfect. Apple cooking is exactly what we need. We'll feed
they
a little to the
spent
girl, and she'll be the perfect size.
a lot of
through
extra
that
time
right
to
door.
animate
Then we
grabbing
can hurry
the
along
top
to
of the
Sal's
door
and
frame
Grub.
when they could have just put a hole in the door frame, honestly. Like a lack of seems like we've got like a few things we might be able to teleport.
Cutlery! We need more cutlery! Another knife! More forks! We must be quick!
So we're looking for cutlery. What are we trying to do here? We've got a door. I guess if I found more cutlery, I could maybe crawl. So almost as
a
a
big one! Pushing walls over means a big one! A girl, maybe! Maybe a girl!
so we need somebody who's really strong, who's probably a girl, to push over walls. I guess, though, we can do this. And now we should be alright. I guess maybe we're looking for more collectibles. Not really seeing anything in this room, and since it's just a... Wait a minute. For a second there the camera was being crazy. Like, was that something? Oh my goodness, there's a whole thing going on here, isn't it? Wow. There's just a whole trick. Oh, come on, seriously? This is lunacy. But you know, Alice in Wonderland, this is kind of what you expect, wouldn't it be? This is what you'd want. Is some kind of form of lunacy like this. Maybe there's something more to this that we have to do when we get to it. Yeah. Yeah, I see. And it feels pretty glitchy. But this is also something you just don't see. And it's kind of funny is the next game we see in like this will probably be a third Alice Madness Returns game, not a Alice in Wonderland game. Let's see, purple indicates telekinesis. That's helpful and all, but that's not what we were looking for. And now I think we can get down. And then we can eat the cake. Again, the question is, why can we only use a small piece of the cake and not just hold on to all of it forever?
Oh dear. I rather think you may have given her too large a slice.
And now she's giant again, and yet a
the real
completely different,
exactly how much to take.
completely different type of dress.
She'll soon be just the right size. Oh dear, I'm empty. You drank it all last time, you greedy girl.
Hey! Please don't leave me like this. I don't much care for small spaces.
I'm afraid we can do nothing without more potion. There must be a bottle of pish salver here somewhere.
Wow. And she's giant, and she's upside down too. And you can see she's got like holes in her socks, and they've gone through a decent effort to make it so you can't see up her dress. And her head's all crammed too.
Excuse me, can you help me out? It really is getting rather uncomfortable in here, you know.
So we'll have to deal with that next time. No more achievements really to play. That's gonna be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.